4, 3, 2, 1.
From New York, where the city that never sleeps reminds us that kids like ours don't either, comes the show that takes rare diseases seriously and everything else, not so much. It's time for Pain Points. Welcome to Pain Points, where each episode we present just one example of what makes life with a rare disease difficult. And it's important to note, we're not complaining, just explaining. Here's the thing about being a parent to a child with a rare disease. It's a heavy load to bear. And this time I don't just mean emotionally heavy, I mean physically. All the stuff we lift and lug and transport because we need it, or we might just possibly need it for our child's care. I know rare disease families who've converted an entire room in their house just to store the medical gear. And when we leave the house with our child, a whole lot of that gear needs to come with us. Of course, we have a go bag loaded and ready, but that's just bag number 1. Depending on the outing, we need different items. And that standard go bag is already full of the essentials, so now we start loading up go bag number 2. You have to carry so much stuff. But we had a backpack attached behind Lucas's wheelchair. That was just the first of 3 or 4 bags we'd usually carry anywhere we went with him. And if it was a doctor's appointment, we'd need to bring our mini filing cabinet. I'm not kidding. It was bright orange. I used to think the medical staff were nodding in silent respect as they saw us roll up with that filing system. In hindsight, I think the look was more, oh no, here comes one of those mothers. I tried to draw the line at a man bag or a Merce. And since insurance doesn't cover Sherpas, they're all out of network anyway, I had to improvise. So, good feminist that I am, I'd ask my wife to hold the stuff in her purse. Because equal rights, right? But no matter how large the handbag, it doesn't take long before you're wishing you could cast an undetectable extension spell on that purse like Hermione did. But don't take my word for it. Let's go deeper down the rabbit hole with more from Felicia Morton.
So there's a lot of carrying going on for rare moms, literally, metaphorically, genetically. We carry a lot of stuff. For example, if you looked in my bag before the pandemic, being a rare disease mom was like I was training for the COVID Olympics. I always had containers of Purell, Clorox wipes on me at all times, even facial masks and plastic gloves. Before they were cool, I'd be maniacally wiping down every surface. I get so many strange looks from the other passengers, as if like, who is that female version of Howie Mandel or Howard Hughes over there? Other things you may find in a rare mom's bag would be lollipops. They're free at Chase Bank, so my son would just take them. And he loved going with me to Chase Bank because of that. In fact, he'd say, "Mom, let's go to Chase Bank. It's the bank for suckers." I'd say, you know, you might be onto something there. Now, I don't know if the Chase people realize that that's a really good marketing tagline for the younger generation, but think about it. Chase, the bank for suckers. It's kind of catchy. Now, I don't know about you, but in my bag, there always seems to be some sand. It could have happened on some beach day when I took my bag thinking, oh, I can keep sand out of here. And then, clearly I was wrong because there's trillions of them and only one of me. So I'm outnumbered. And then, sand gets in everything, right? Another thing you might find in a rare mom's bag is a granola bar because, God forbid, you're trapped in a doctor's office, and you have nothing to eat, or in an emergency room, and you really need, something to feed your child or yourself. Let's face it, if you don't have something, it's an amateur move. You really need to have a granola bar or 2. However, all of this means I often find granola crumbs mixed with sand in the bottom of my bag. Yep, yum. So you can picture me, right, digging through the sandy, crummy realms of the bottom of my bag when I have to look for change, when I'm, needing to feed the meter or something. It's like going on a treasure hunt at the bottom of the ocean. You never know what you're going to find. Hopefully a quarter, but really, your guess is as good as mine. Obviously, the next stop after scrounging around the bottom of my bag would be going to the nail salon, right? Well, that's when we have time, but clearly, we need to make time, right? We need to do that. Me time is very important for rare moms, so get that mani-pedi moms. It's important for you to take care of yourself. And one way I like to take care of myself is to bring my own nail polish because it's germ-free. Well, it has my germs. And also it's very efficient because, I can do my nails on the go. The only problem is there seems to be a mischievous elf who lives in my bag who will untwist the tops no matter how tightly I put them. And so that's the opposite of efficient when that happens and it mixes with the sand and the granola and the gum. Let's see, the other items you might find could include medicine in a Ziploc bag. Now, this is zipped and locked, and it's not redundant at all. I really appreciate the Ziploc people because they've made it doubly safe, and not even the elf can get in it. Anything that's in there is completely pristine. So thank you to the Ziploc manufacturers for that. And if only everything could be zipped and locked, like we could zip and lock away germs, we could zip and lock like the annoying voices of people when we're trying to meditate. I'm into yoga and meditation these days. So yeah, it's like, if we could just zip lock all of the things that we're trying to detach from, how beautiful would that be? But what I often can't find is a pen. Yes, that's right. The most obvious thing to have in my bag somehow just vanishes. But what I can seem to find is like a sandy green crayon, which is really weird because my kids haven't used crayons for like many years, but it's in there. And it definitely works in a pinch when I need to jot something down. So that's good. Rare moms carry a lot of things, but we get it all done. And we carry on. So that's all for this episode. I might be writing the next one with a sandy green crayon, but I will do it and it will get done. Thank you so much for watching.